Philip, I talked to Coop after the race. Big post-race interview, by the way. I tracked him down. And he said, he said the whoops were it. And once he realized he couldn't figure it out, he said he couldn't get the groove right. And then we saw he couldn't get anything else as far as blitzing or jumping right. He's like, that's it. I had to settle for it. And honestly, he was like, he's the better guy. Coop, wasn't as mad after Philly. He really accepted it. It was the whoops were the race.
I talked to Frankie Layton today for a little while, and I mean, at that level and Coop's my boy, but to get beat by that much is kind of crazy. I mean, that performance that Chase had from a rider standpoint was like godly, Him hitting that second set of whoops, how he would just send it in there, plant his bike, and it was 2 seconds a lap, it felt like, for a long time until about 6 minutes to go. I thought Chase looked so comfortable. It came to a point where I'm just like, he's so comfortable, he's going to make a mistake for falling asleep at the switch, and maybe that's what Cooper's maybe thinking would potentially happen, but everything just went right. Like, I was really amazed at Chase's riding. We all know how badass rider Coop is, but to have one set of, there was 2 sets of whoops, but Coop really wasn't that bad in the first set. To lose that much time because of one set of whoops around that entire track is like kind of crazy.
Seemed to make the rest of the track good for Chase too, like probably a mental thing where he knew he was killing those, and I bet everything else felt good because of it. And Coop probably a little bit the other way.
Yeah, if you look at the sectors, Chase was faster in a lot of sectors too.
It was one of those things, and Phil, you've probably had this where, say, a tougher section, even for you, I'm not making fun, but the jumping, the rhythm, if you're doing something big and you're like, I got it, the whole track feels really good then because that thing is out of the way. And Coop probably felt that everywhere a little bit, knowing like, God, this guy's killing me. It probably ruined everything. Where Chase was going through him and going, everything is better.
Or you're thinking of the whoops the rest of the track,
and you can't even go.
You're just thinking like, this fucking guy's got me. I can't figure this out. And like I said too earlier, Phil, like Coop's usually good at the rut down the middle, and he mentioned to me that he couldn't even get that right.
No, because I think there wasn't a big enough rut in the middle because the whoops held up enough to where that didn't really happen. But Chase also, after the second set of whoops, you go left, that 3 onto the table, off 3, he greased that every lap where Coop really couldn't get that. Like, he would go all the way over the 3, but then sometimes he would clip it, have to go roll again, and then kind of like double single, or like he didn't have it down as good as Chase. And then Chase would roll the next right-hander and hit that 3 in, which was also deadly as fuck, but would just fucking grease it lap after lap. And it looked like he was on. That was a Chase that we all expected to ride for 20 Chase. Plus 1.
Well, even like getting onto the start straight away and everything was flawless.
And remember, he doesn't like the bike. He wants to maybe leave.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I was next to you when somebody came over and said something to you when we were talking.
Yeah.
Said nothing's done.
No, I know. Yeah, nothing's signed. But it's just crazy. Like, you're just like, I know he's got some shock. They're not happy with the shock. I don't know if it's fading. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. But
look good in the whoops.
I just, when you watch, like we all watch this race, you're like, wait, that shock is bad? That's not a good shock?
On that style track, that's like, the faces and the G-outs are basically inverted, and the whoops were gnarly. So,
what about?
I don't know, man.
What about the on-off and then the booter 3 into the turn? Like,
weird. Again, it's that was gnarly, and then you went right, and then when you went 2-3, that next 3 was pretty brutal, so you could, I'm glad I wasn't out there.
Daniel,
super happy.
Yeah, super happy. I said to Phil, what about that 3 in? And Phil replied, there are no 3 ins to me. I see 2s. I see 2 ins only.
Bottom berm 2 in.
Yeah.
I'm blind to 3 in.
Yeah. Phil Nicoletti here, brought to you by FCP Racing. Phil, also talking about the race. I lost my train of thought here. We were talking about, like, we all know the math, Phil, with Coop and Chase. If Chase wins out, he ties and they wins on total points or total wins. Sorry, and we're all like, Like Daniel's like 5 in a row. He's got to win 5 in a row. That's not going to happen. And then, well, now he's got to win 3 in a row now.
And that looks 3 looks okay.
Like it's not. It's such a huge hill. I still like Coop, but it ain't a small percent that Chase could that Chase could do this.
We're getting close to 50-50 here.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
one more.
Okay,
maybe
one
Pittsburgh,
more.
I'll go 50-50 out.
Yeah.
Because he can win those last 2.
You know, like Coop told me, the odds are still in my favor, and I'm like, yep, they are, but they're shrinking.
One more week.
I
Right?
mean, you obviously Chase is a lot different now, but you go back to 2021 Salt Lake, that long ago. I mean, Chase was checked out. Coop reeled him in, but that's so many years ago. It's a little bit different, but yeah, I mean, in our sport, again, you're only as good as your last race, and this past race was like, holy fuck, you know? And even Philly was just like, whatever. You know, he still pulled Coop, 5-6 seconds to where he was comfy, but yeah, Coop needs to come to Pittsburgh and somehow, some way, shut it down.
And if he does, that really, I mean, Coop needs one.
Yeah.
He needs one. Yeah. Just needs one.
Yeah. And it really, the math plays in his favor. I'll tell you this. So I remember this so specifically. Anaheim won. It was the year that KTM switched chassis to that, what is now the newer one that they're kind of off of now. And I remember doing a sit-down with the TV crew. We all sat down when it was with Marv.
Is it the helmet with Coop on a stretcher? Or on a
it may have
leaving
been.
when he got away from Alden?
Maybe it was that one. But it was Coop, Marv, and AP, and they were all sitting there talking about the new chassis. And they said, this new bike feels really good on hard pack and doesn't feel as good on the sticky stuff that the last bike was good on. And Coop didn't like that. And I remember that so specifically because since then, if you watch every race that is hard pack, even Hangtown last year with Chase, he looks really good on everything firm and hard ground, and he looks a little tentative on anything that's ruddy and sticky for him. And so that's why, for me, Pittsburgh is so big, because if he gets through this one, if there's no weather at Denver and Salt Lake, that is straight hard pack as it gets, and that bike has been better on that stuff, and so is he. And Coop typically hasn't been. So to me, this is the weekend. Like, if Coop don't get this one, Chase walks into those last 2 with a lot of advantages, not only the momentum, but a bike that I do think is specifically better on that type of soil where Coop is not. So it's Pittsburgh for me, big time for Coop.
All right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even. Yeah, it has to be in Pittsburgh because I think Denver, Chase will be good, and I think Salt Lake City he will be good. But again, I'll go back to it. Coop isn't a slouch at Salt Lake City, but the way Coop played MetLife the first 3 laps, that was the hardest I think I've seen him go the first 3 laps in a main event in a long time. Just the first couple corners, he was 3rd, 4th off the start, and the way he tried to pass Shane in the second corner and get up to Chase because he knew that he couldn't allow Chase to get away. And when Chase broke him, like, I don't think Coop's been broken like that ever.
No.
So
even his face after, like, when he's mad, you could tell the mad face.
Yeah.
It was more of a oh wow.
Yeah,
face.
he gave there was a lot a little bit of shit talk about the gunshot wound and all that. But after the race, when I talked to him, Coop was straight up like, "Hey, I got beat." Yep.
Yeah, he gave praise to him, which I respected because I think the mental side of trying to get in his head kind of backfired a little bit, and it kind of, the bullets ricocheted and hit him, so it's kind of
they did.
Yeah, so now it's I kind of come back and rethink of what they can do, but is there a potential chance Chase can go win the next 3? Yes, but again, will Chase still chase a little bit? Potentially, but after this past weekend, it's just like, geez, dude, how do you not do that every weekend?
I know.
How does it go so far left, but yet then you just put out this godly performance out of, I'm still mind blown. Yeah. Mind blown. I don't think the average person realizes how gnarly that was.